No, never. Good evening. Tonight we're meeting for our annual public hearing on the budget, which we shall treat more like a committee hearing, if you will. So we're going to start the meeting today with a roll call, and then follow with the pledge, and then we're going to go right into our first presenter. So roll call, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Certainly. Commissioner Cooper, absent. Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Luciano.
Here.
Commissioner Mercado.
Here.
Commissioner Richardson.
Here.
Commissioner Siebold, absent. Commissioner Sermons. Here. Commissioner Vice President Murray Thomas, absent. Commissioner President Pomaris.
Here. I'm going to please stand for this. I'm going to ask Commissioner Mercado to lead us into the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And may we please just stand for a moment of silence in honor of those that we may have lost since the last time we came together. Thank you. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Mr. Jackson, good evening.
Good evening.
Who do we have first today to present?
The Board of Taxation.
Board of Taxation, everyone's favorite board.
There
Good
we
evening,
go.
sir. Please just state your
Very
name and
important
affiliation.
board.
Please just state your name and affiliation for the record.
Thank you, President Pomaris. Ian Grodman, Essex County Tax Board.
Great, thank you. Do you have, I'm assuming, a narrative that you want to start off with, an opening
Sure.
statement? Why don't we start with that, and then what we'll do, Commissioners, we'll have our budget consultant, Mr. McInerney, begin with any questions, and then we'll all chime in today. And just so that there's no confusion, the gentleman sitting in Commissioner Siebold's seat is not Pat Siebold, it's Mr. Martino, just for the purpose of the record, wondering why someone else may be sitting there. Please.
All right. So we have submitted our budget to you for 2026. I wanted to thank the Finance Department for their assistance in helping to prepare this budget. This is my first year doing it, so it was a little bit of a learning curve, and they were very, very helpful in helping me to get to this point. So basically, we have here a budget that's showing a 4% increase over our costs last year. We had costs that are increasing in our budget. We have software that connects us to all of the assessors in the county, as well as the New Jersey Division of the Treasury. The costs on that go up significantly every year, and then there are the standard wage increases. Other than that, we didn't have any increases in our budget this year over last year's budget. I have a lot of supporting information that I've provided for all of you in advance. You should have that in your packets. That will show you what the tax rates are in each one of the towns in the county and how that works with...
We're on tab 5, page 44.
Thank you. I was just looking for that so I can make an announcement. My apologies.
No,
I should
it's
have
okay.
announced that first, page 44 and the fifth tab is Mr. Jackson stated.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. That will show you what the tax rates are for each one of the towns and how those tax rates are apportioned to the county. In addition, in that packet, you'll be able to see a pie chart of what each town in the county's percentage is that goes to their municipal budget, that goes to the county budget, that goes to their school budget, and things like the library budgets and open space trust funds. At the end of the package, you will see we've included the equalization ratios for each town. So you'll see as you're looking through that, some towns have a very low equalization rate, some towns have a very high equalization rate. We are fortunate in Essex County that the real estate market is a very good real estate market. And so a lot of times assessed values on properties are not showing what the actual values of the properties are at this point in time. We have had every town in the county have a reval over the course of the last 10 years, and we're on track to make sure that all of the towns are having revals every 10 years, sometimes even sooner, sometimes 8 or 9 years if we see large discrepancies in where the values are compared to the assessed values. At the very end of the packet is our abstract of ratables. You can see what the value is of the properties in each one of the towns divided by categories, and that is my basic presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Recognizing Commissioner Gill has joined the meeting. Mr. McInerney?
Okay, like you said, it's not a very big budget. Just for the record, on the revals, you said, are there any other revaluations lined up for this year? Or?
Yes, this year Fairfield, Cedar Grove, and Verona are going through a reval, and we will have those new values by February 10th. Well, it was supposed to be today. It should be any day now. We're going to have those new values for those three towns.
Are there others that have not been, not had a reevaluation?
Sure. On the last page of the packet, you'll see we have the status of the revals for each one of the towns. So in 2027, Newark will have a reval. That will be a very big one. Also in 2027, I'm just referring to this because I don't always remember it off the top of my head, Caldwell, Fairfield, and that's it. Generally, it's about 3 towns each year. But you'll see on that schedule that there are revals scheduled right now through 2029.
Okay.
And that's how we try to keep the true value of the properties as close to the assessed value of the properties as possible. It makes it more fair for the municipalities in terms of their contribution to the county.
Has the equalization table been done?
Correct. Yep,
That's done?
yep.
I was wondering if you could forward a copy of that to the board of, the clerk of the board?
Sure, it is in the packet, the equalization table.
I didn't get to look at this.
It's the second to the last page of the packet. But I can send that to the clerk of the board if you'd like.
Well, if it's here, you don't need to, but okay.
If you look at the last page, the status of revaluations, the page right before that will show you the equalization table.
I got it, okay. All right, thank you.
Sure.
As far as your budget goes, it's very similar to the previous year. When I looked at the payroll, they're the same, I think there's 5 employees. I'm sorry. When I looked at the payroll, there were 5 employees that are currently being paid. It's the same 5 employees that are in the budget. There's very little difference between what I calculate the projected payroll to be and what's anticipated in the current year's budget. Other expenses are relatively the same. You said you had a little increase for,
On the software that we use, it's the BRT system that connects us with all of the assessors in the county as well as the Division of the Treasury in Trenton.
what about, are you, correct me if I'm wrong, do you have a trust fund?
Yes, we do.
And what is in the trust fund now?
Approximately $30,000.
Okay, and what specifically do you use that for?
It's used for educational purposes, mainly for our commissioners, for the people who work in the office, that kind of thing.
Do you pretty much use it every year, or you
For the
tap
most
into it?
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually, especially during the appeal season,
Right.
we have some seasonal employees that come in that help out on a kind of a per diem basis.
I got
They're
you.
paid out of that trust fund as well.
As well, okay. All right, I don't have any other questions, I hate to tell you, but
Thank you.
that's it. Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Commissioners, any questions?
All right.
Commissioner
That was
Gill?
easy. Thank you.
Well, not yet, hold
Oh,
on. We got
sorry,
Commissioner
sorry,
Gill.
I know it was a couple minutes late.
There we go.
Just, thank you. Just, again, what were the revals, the Fairfields?
Fairfield is this year.
Fairfields this year, and there were two others?
Verona and Cedar Grove.
Verona, Cedar Grove. Okay. Great, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, you're off the hook,
All
sir.
right. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, have a good evening, thank you.
I hope the rest of the evening goes this smoothly for all of you.
We hope so too. All right.
Thank you.
All right. A little ahead of schedule, doesn't hurt. Mr. Jackson, what do you have now? We have the sheriff next?
Yes, sheriff's next. I don't know.
Oh,
there he is.
Sheriff's already here? Awesome. What page,
The sheriff will be page 73, tab 6.
okay, thank you. Good evening, Sheriff.
Good evening. Good evening.
Please just state your name and affiliation for the record and introduce your team.
Amir Jones, Sheriff. With me, Chief Spangle, Jim Spangle.
All right, why don't you give us an overview whenever you're ready.
All right. Let's see. All right. Good afternoon. Good evening. First, I just want to sincerely thank all of you for your continued support and partnership. None of what I'm about to talk about happens without collaboration, shared priorities, and your willingness to invest in public safety the right way. What I'd like to do today is walk you through what we've been able to accomplish operationally and the real outcomes, and then briefly talk about how we strengthen the agency while doing it. Let me start with the Bureau of Narcotics. This past year, we saw a 200% increase in arrests and charges, and more importantly, we've removed over $1 million worth of narcotics from the streets of Essex County. That does not happen by accident. That comes with being proactive, increasing our presence in communities, and improving coordination with our federal and municipal partners. Our Office of Emergency Management continues to be one of the strongest support systems for municipalities throughout this county. Our OEM conducted full-scale training exercises and responded to 30 emergency activations, everything from storm responses to hospital infrastructure failures to active threat coordination. We also deployed equipment 257 times, including light towers, message boards, and our Skywatch unit, to name a few. Honestly, our Office of Emergency Management is supporting municipalities almost daily. We've also invested in our new OEM drone truck, which also allows us to provide real-time intelligence and faster response support during emergencies. When it comes to we saw a significant drop in complaints last year. That is not because oversight was reduced. It is because our officers are more visible, more engaged, and building stronger relationships in our communities they serve. That decline tells us trust is moving forward in the right direction. Our patrol division handled approximately 4,000 calls for service, which is a 61% increase. That increase reflects engagement, being present and accessible. There has been an increase in traffic complaints, especially speeding last year. We saw a 62% increase in motor vehicle summonses driven by proactive traffic enforcement, and a 114% increase in disorderly persons, largely because of our increased presence in parks and public spaces. Our goal is simple: making sure our parks are safe, family-friendly, and accessible to everyone. While visibility has increased, crime continues to trend downward. Our fugitive squad, in conjunction with our Bureau of Criminal Identification, received 2,111 warrants and closed 2,193, meaning that they actually reduced backlog and closed more cases than they received. That speaks to efficiency, coordination, and staying focused on priorities. Our transportation division completed nearly 20,000 custody movements and logged about 100,000 transports, all without major incident. That's high volume, high risk work done professionally every single day. Our K-9 and bomb unit responded to nearly 1,000 calls for service, including airport sweeps, school safety checks, and security at houses of worship during heightened safety concerns. Much of their work is about prevention, making sure situations never escalate in the first place. Our courts division continues to provide security across the entire vicinage without incident. We screened nearly 2 million individuals while managing layered security operations across multiple facilities. That work is critical and often happens behind the scenes, but is essential to maintaining safe and functioning courts. Our tactical response team deployed 66 times last year, assisting municipalities with barricaded subjects, high-risk warrants, and emergency response operations. Those deployments resulted in no loss of life and no major injuries, which speaks directly to training, equipment, investment, and our continued expansion of less lethal options. Technology is also playing a bigger role in how we operate. Our drone program, coordinated through our Office of Emergency Management, supports our tactical response team as well as our patrol, large events, and emergency response real-time situational awareness. It allows us to make smarter decisions and often reduces the need for force. It's a big part of modern precision-based policing. Our Civil Process Division collected $3.4 million in commissions and fees last year. And last but not least, one of our areas I'm personally proud of is our community engagement team. This team did not exist prior to this administration, and in less than 1 year, they became a major part of how we approach public safety. Their presence in communities has helped reduce complaints, improve communication, and build trust with our residents, schools, and faith organizations. They've also worked closely with our patrol unit and helped keep parks and public spaces safe and often help de-escalate situations early before they become enforcement issues. We also made a commitment to modernize in how we communicate with the public. Before this administration, the Sheriff's Office had very little digital presence. We made a decision to treat digital communication as a public safety tool. We launched a sheriff-led communication, including a direct Q&A series so residents can hear directly from leadership and better understand how we do, or what we do. Since launching that effort, we've reached hundreds of thousands of residents online, with some videos receiving over 90,000 views. That kind of transparency strengthens trust and helps prevent problems before they start. In closing, the 2026 budget allows us to keep the momentum going. It allows us to sustain operational success, continue modernization, and maintain the level of service our residents expect and deserve. I truly appreciate your continued support and partnership, and on behalf of the men and women of the Essex County Sheriff's Office, thank you for the opportunity to serve this county. We're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sheriff. Let me recognize Commissioner Cooper is joining the meeting. Mr. McInerney?
Yes. Thank you, Sheriff. Let me just start with revenues. Last year, the Sheriff's Office, including the additional fee, generated almost $3.3 million worth of revenues. Yeah, and you see that, you see collecting the same amount of money. Any problem this year or any real changes? The same amount as anticipated, so I'm assuming.
Same as anticipated as
Okay.
2025.
All right. Let's talk. One of the key things in not just in your department, but in a lot of the larger departments that I see, and especially looking at last year's budget and trying to project out what will be the effect of overtime. And again, as I said, it's not just in the Sheriff's Department, it's in a lot of the larger departments, especially in public safety. So I have gone through the payroll. Just give me a second here while I bring this back up. And so when I took the second payroll, the first payroll had some increases in it, maybe some retros, I'm not sure, but I was assured that the second payroll is more representative of what we'll see. And there were 4,060 hours at time and a half that generated $310,000 of overtime. And then there was another 452 straight overtime hours that generated about $23,000. So if I'm looking at that and trying to project that out for the year, that would come to somewhere close to $8.7 million, which is not that far off of where you were last year, 8.1. Understanding that contracts have been settled and increases in salaries will obviously impact the amount of overtime in 2026. But I can see that you're at 7.1 is budgeted, yet the projections that I come up with show a substantial amount more than that. So just dovetail in a second about vacancies. So, maybe these two kind of match up. I had, I think it was about 445. Let me just see for a second here. I think I roughly came up to maybe 25 vacancies. Is that correct?
29.
Just for the
29?
record, this Chief Spangle.
Yeah,
just-
sorry. depending on 29 vacancies as of today.
Okay. So when we talk, I'm not going to answer the question for you. So let's just talk about the overtime. Let's talk about the vacancies. Do you see the overtime being less than what I'm projecting?
No, but there's a number of factors that aren't taken into account is reimbursable overtime. There's a large amount of overtime that's reimbursable from officers that the sheriff has assigned to outside agencies, as well as some reimbursements for within the county. For example, there's parks reimbursements, there's reimbursements for...
Could you move the mic closer to you?
There's parks reimbursements, there's 320, 321 welfare gives us reimbursements, so they're not factored into that number there. That's why our number is less than the 8.1.
Okay. So that's going to make up some, but obviously, if I'm projecting 8 points, even if you have 8.1, the same as last year, your budget is light. So do you see those vacancies in some ways making up the difference?
Absent slippage from the vacancies, I mean, we're almost through we're halfway through winter already. By the time we do any hiring, it won't be till the summer, because we hire in accordance with when the police academy has their classes.
Right.
So if you have 6 months of slippage, that makes up the difference in the overtime.
Okay. So, so I guess you're kind of forced in a way not to hire, but do you see anything problematic about that? That you have to keep those vacancies in order to make up for the overtime?
What was the question, Frank?
Do you see something problematic? In other words,
No,
the
no.
staff you have now is the staff that you need?
No, we plan on filling all our vacancies.
Okay. Then the question is, how do you make up the overtime? That's because it's not going to be 7.1. It's going to be greater than that, based on what I see.
The salary and wage line will be less, and the slippage between the two is normally where we make up the overtime.
Okay. So, and that was similar last year. You did get some transfers, though, also, and that's a possibility as well. All right. On the salary and wage, on the other expense side, what was the issue last year with uniform allowance? What, was it not budgeted for, or?
Uniform allowance was part of collective bargaining when they settled the contracts. Uniform allowance was bargained in, so now the officers get a $1,000 uniform allowance multiplied by the number of active officers we have in that collective bargaining group, equates to the $349,000.
Okay. So now it has its own line item.
Correct.
Okay. So that obviously comes out of salaries and wages, right? I mean, that's included in salaries and wages?
No.
As far as, I know it has its own line item, but typically last year, was it included in?
It hasn't been part of the collective bargaining agreement since 2011.
Oh, it has.
It was taken out, or sorry, no, 2012, it was put back in the most recent contract.
Okay. Again, the only thing, like I said, that really, stands out is the overtime issue, and if you have that, you can get the transfers and maybe make up some of that from the vacancies, then I guess that's the way you'll deal with it. Other than that, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Commissioners, any questions for the sheriff? Thanks. Commissioner Luciano?
Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks, Chief, for your budget. Just to piggyback on top of Frank, Sheriff, you mentioned filling about 20 vacancies, or somewhere, 29 vacancies. Does that also mean, just because I know from my 15 years of being here, that you usually have promotions once or twice a year? Will you be doing that? Do you have
Yes.
You have the needed funding that you need to also?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Because I was looking at it, I know your recommend it and your adopt it looks the same, but I was wondering if with a larger force, you need a larger a bigger pool of bosses.
Oh, we do plan on promoting very soon, so
Right.
we're,
But I'm saying, as long as you have enough funding for that, you guys?
We do.
Okay,
Oh,
as long as
absolutely, yeah,
that was my
okay.
question.
Okay, I'm
is
sorry, yeah.
It's not, it's more of, right, Frank? If you're gonna have more staff, you're gonna have more bosses. Do you need more money for it? Because now's the time. If you guys feel that that's something we need to talk to the administration about. We want to make sure, of course, I think I speak for the rest of the board, where we care about law enforcement. If this is what's needed, this is what's needed. We don't need, to find out about it 6 months from now.
no.
We'll make
appreciate
sure
the
we have
commission,
it.
But we're good.
Good?
Let me address that too, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr.
So,
McInerney.
so if a captain retires, then obviously you're going to have a promotion. But the differential is a lot less than you think, because what happens is a lieutenant becomes a captain, a sergeant becomes a lieutenant, and first step becomes a sergeant. So the differential is really between top step and your new hire on the bottom. It's not as great as it is between the retiring senior officer and the first step. It's just between, assuming that when the lieutenant goes to captain, then everybody else gets promoted as well. The variance and the cost is much less.
Got it. I just thought with a more of a greater force, you might need a greater amount of supervisors. And if you needed it, we're here.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Commissioners, any other questions? Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you. Quick question, probably for Mr. Jackson. The unclassified folks in this budget, in general, how do they get their increases? Because I noticed in 26 it doesn't have a number, but in 25 it did. What unit would that be? On page, what page is that?
We generally have them within the department, they're staffed within the department, and our unclassified get the same increase as our classified employees do.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? Commissioner Graham?
How many steps?
Oh, Sermon, my apologies.
That's
Commissioner
okay.
Sermon.
How many steps do the sheriff office have?
6.
6 steps.
Commissioners? Commissioner Gill?
Thank you, Mr. President. Not a budget-related question, and, through you, obviously, budget's very sound, proud to be able to support it, both support our sheriff. So more of a policy-related question. Have we had any ICE-related incidents on county parks, facilities, or property?
No, not
Okay.
that, not that I'm aware of. No, we haven't.
Through you, Mr. President, what is our current position with our officers as it pertains to what we're seeing going on nationally?
So, our position is, we don't enforce immigration, laws. That's, our job is to protect everyone regardless of who they are and where they come from. That's our job here, and that's, our stance. We haven't had any communication with ICE. We've asked if we do. I know there are plans for the chiefs around the county as well. If they do plan on coming into a municipality to make a notification to us, that's something that we are working on. We
And not up to this point?
nothing yet,
Right.
No, not
Thank
gonna work. Ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you. Another question. I'm thinking about the last 2 years now that we settled the contracts. What's the starting step and the ending step? And are you feeling like it's more competitive? Thinking about now that we settled the contract, I'm thinking about the conversations about how in years prior we had some challenges allegedly attracting people because our numbers were lower. Where are we now? Is it more competitive? The numbers look more in line with statewide numbers now?
Our starting step is about 60, which is pretty high if you look around the municipalities. But I believe it's 120. I believe it goes up to 120 now. Yeah, about 120. So I think now it's pretty competitive, somewhere in the range where it should be.
And we had the same levels of shifts on the superior side too, right now that we
Yes,
settled those
absolutely,
contracts?
yes.
Okay. Much more competitive. Thank you.
Mr. McInerney?
Yeah, one of the, I had on the payroll, 222 officers at a salary, I'm assuming that's top step, at a salary of $109,375. Does that make sense? That's it. So that's a nice pay.
That doesn't take into account.
That's the base.
Correct.
Strictly base.
Correct, and the percentage increase for 2026 will pass that, as well as anything else that's pensionable, for example, education.
Right.
Any other questions? before Commissioner Luciano hands out any more money, I want to just,
Sorry, Mr. President, I just wanted to make sure that we,
I'm just teasing you, we got to keep it light a little bit, because these are long meetings here, and we're here for a while. Sheriff, I want to commend you, not reflected in here, but I do recall that we've had several donations of body armor, and
Oh, yes.
recently a very expensive horse trailer. And they're not reflected here, but I think they need to be commended, because it takes a lot for individuals to want to contribute on such a, I mean, those are expensive items. And I know Mr. Jackson always updates us with the body armor, so we are up to date with, I know they have a lifespan, right, an expiration date, if you will, and we're current with that, and to have the trailer, I know helps us with some of our much larger events when we need it. So I want to commend you on that, because it's not reflected in here, but I think it's very important.
Thank you.
I'm going to add to that, Mr. President.
Not
if you don't
money, you're
mind.
not going to have money,
No,
right?
not, well, not money, but maybe
Commissioner Luciano.
He
possible.
put me on the spot.
Possible grants. Sheriff, I do know recently we had a fire in one of our county parks. I know we have the Office of Emergency Management. I don't know, do we engage in any assistance to fire departments or in any way like that?
We have, so the fire in, you're speaking of Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock, right?
And
Yeah.
also prior to that was Livingston. That started the creation of the drone program.
Very nice.
To be honest, when we had the large fire in Livingston, and Under Sheriff Figliola's here, he just walked in behind me. He's one of our pilots. He's, the master behind the whole drone program. But prior to that, we had no drone program. We had to call Union County to assist us in Livingston. With the fire department, now that we have this drone program, the fire department can actually see, what's going on from, just from looking at, our monitors in our truck, which helped them out tremendously.
I think
with the
that's
fire.
very good. Again, accolades to that.
And wildfires are starting to pick up now. It's becoming a
Yeah,
thing.
I know that's becoming a thing because we've
Yeah.
had very dry years.
Yeah.
So if there's any grant opportunities for any of that stuff, please continue to let us know or your department know.
Thank
Because we know that's something new that you guys have now been helping out throughout the county with. Thank you.
Mr. McInerney?
Just, I know we have charge-offs from other parts of the budget, and that's already in your budget. But typically, I used to see grants being charged off here. Are there any grants that,
We have a cops hiring grant that we received $1.8 million for a few years ago. The rules have changed a little bit with the cops hiring grant. We have to be at our full staffing level. We cannot supplant our department by hiring those officers. We have to go
Right.
in excess of our table of organization. So that's something the sheriff can only consider when he does the hiring, when we get to our full table of organization to actually exercise that grant.
so will that grant be part of your budget this year, or is it
It's not
anticipated?
anticipated in the budget. If it
It's-
is,
it's not, but-
It'll be an added bonus, if you will.
So is it possible you'll have another, if you fill those 29 positions, I don't know if they're all police officers or sheriff's officers, but if you fill those positions, are you saying there's a potential for up to $1.8 million in grants
Over
that's
3
not,
years. Over 3 years, so $600,000 per year for 3 years.
which is not in the budget?
Correct.
Okay, so that's part and parcel of making those numbers as well balanced. So that 600 we'll take into consideration while we're looking at this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Commissioner Mercado?
Yes, Sheriff, Chief, I want to thank you for your leadership. The role that your department plays is critically and vitally important to the work that we do. You guys are the ones that keep the public safe in the entire county, in the parks and everywhere. My question is about vehicles. How is the fleet going, and do you have a fleet replenishment strategy, or?
This is probably, we're probably in the best shape we've ever been when it comes to our fleet right now.
Good.
Fitz is, in charge of our fleet. I don't know if you agree with me, Fitz.
Yes. Fitz, can you just go to the microphone?
Yeah, I'm
Please
sorry.
just state your name and affiliation for the record, and then tell.
Fitzgerald Figliolo, Under Sheriff. So I oversee fleet, and we are in pretty good shape. Over this past year, we have the new motorcycles. We have patrol vehicles that we put out before that. We are in the process of rolling out our bomb trucks that we purchased over a year ago, but it takes some time to outfit and get everything together. We rolled out 3 last week, and we're waiting for 2 more. Obviously, our patrol cars are something that are out constantly, so that's something we would probably look at to somehow start thinking about replenishing those vehicles. And then there's other pieces of equipment that also need to be eventually replaced, so we're in conversations with that with the sheriff and the administration.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're all good? Sheriff, I'd say it's been a great year for you. Congratulations to
Thank you.
you and to your department, to Chief Spango, and to all involved. So thank you for your excellent presentation today. We look forward to the good work this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate it.
All right, moving right along.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, next is the county clerk. That'll be tab 5, page 50.
Tab 5, page 50.
Mr. President, would you like me to have the Board of Elections is supposed to come after dinner? Would you like me to have them come
If they're
earlier?
available, I think we could do that since we're a little ahead of schedule.
Okay. And Mr. Mohammed's going to handle deeds and mortgages.
Okay.
When that comes up, so he's here for that, so I think we would be in decent shape.
Excellent. Okay, sounds good. So I don't know if this is written into the bylaws, but I think the county clerk has to do a joke before you start. Good evening, Mr. Clerk. How are you, sir? Please just state your name and affiliation for the record, and then just start.
Good evening, Mr. President. Chris Durkin, Essex County Clerk. It's an honor to be here before you and all the commissioners and all that you do on behalf of the citizens of Essex County. And I've worked alongside each of you for the last 20 years as county clerk and 3 years before that as Director of Human Resources for the County of Essex. And, you know, I always commend your diligent fight on behalf of the taxpayers of Essex County. And, you know, I'm impressed and I'm honored to work alongside you. And public service is getting more demanding, as we know, but it's more rewarding. It's where we see the biggest impact every day. Our office is helping people with very real and practical needs, whether that's getting a United States passport, swearing in notaries, registering business names, issuing county identification cards, or making sure every vote is counted. I would like to publicly thank the men and women of the Essex County Clerk's Office who go above and beyond the call of duty every day. We are a revenue-generating office, so through the fees from U.S. passports, from swearing in notaries, from issuing identification cards, from registering businesses, we've exceeded our expectation of revenue each year. Also, just a side note about Real ID. As a point of information, as you know, about a year ago, you needed a Real ID to fly domestically, either a passport or a Real ID. Now there's a workaround because now you can pay a $45 fee and not have a Real ID and have your current license, driver's license, and still, I mean, it makes sense because you don't want to hurt the economy with, you know, stopping people from flying. So there's a workaround to that now. Also, this is our most active election year since I've been county clerk, maybe ever, right? It's, we have 2 special elections that are taking place right now. The special primary just took place on February 5th, and we had the biggest turnout in many years. I mean, bigger than a year and a half ago with the presidential 2024 primary. So an incredible turnout, six days of early voting. And the general election for that special primary for CD11 will take place April 16th, and that will have 9 days of early voting. We also have a Montclair special school election with 2 questions, bond referendums on March 10th. We've already mailed vote-by-mail ballots out for that election. And just to give you a point of information on the increase in vote-by-mail and the workload in the county clerk's office, in 2017, when Governor Murphy ran for governor the first time, which is only, 8 years ago, we mailed out about 10,000 vote-by-mail ballots. This past general election, we mailed out 62,000 ballots, so more than 600%. And there's a new law that's, you're now able to apply for a vote-by-mail ballot online. So as you know, we had voter registration online to make it easier for people to update their voter registration, to change their address, to update their party. But now this will really help because we always needed a hard copy vote-by-mail application in our office with the original signature. Now it'll go to a portal and we'll be able to immediately mail out a vote-by-mail ballot to voters. Also, another important law is that if you're 17 years old and you're going to be 18 by the general election, we just had that in this primary, you can vote in the primary election. And the thought process behind that was that if you're going to be able to vote in the general election, you should have a say in who gets nominated at the primary. And this will be a lot of 17-year-olds that will be eligible for this June primary because it captures a year.
I have one at home, I understand, yes.
Yeah, one at home, yeah. If you turn 17 November 3rd of 2025, you're eligible. We also have nonpartisan elections on May 12th, 4. We have Belleville, which is mayor and 2 at-large council. We have Irvington, mayor and 3 at-large council. We have Newark, the full governing body, the mayor, 9 council. We have Orange, 4 ward council seats. We have an active primary election, right, with U.S. Senator, with 3 districts of Congress, the 8th, the 10th, and the 11th. We have county executive. We have all 9 county commissioners. We have Democratic County Committee. We have 11 municipalities that have local races, whether it be mayor or council races. And then there's a possibility, like there was 4 years ago, of a runoff in Newark, right, which would be a week after the primary. I know 4 years ago we had a runoff in the West Ward and the South Ward of Newark. So we'll see if that takes place, but that's a real workload to be able to turn around those machines, to program them and to get them back out into the field. Not an easy undertaking. And then we have the general election, which is on November 3rd, and we have school board that's on that ballot. We have 18 of our 22 municipalities that run in November. The signatures went up for school board petitions. It was 10, now it's 25. That's another thing about the new law last year with increasing signature for partisan candidates, but decreasing signatures for nonpartisan candidates. So that's really an interesting thing. And then we have, I went through the changes in the law, and then I think I pretty much just about covered. If you have any questions, I'm here for you, and I appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Durkin. It was always very thorough. Yeah, there's a lot, an amazing amount of stuff happening this year, and it seems like it always gets busier. You always come through. You're in your department. I've never seen your department not work well. So, I mean, that's a testament to that. You've reminded me I do have to come and get my passport, so that's something else. So if anyone listening, make sure you get your passport this year. And I'm sure that Mr. McInerney will address it in terms of staffing. We just want to ensure that, given on all this that's happening here, that you're staffed adequately. It's, elections, and the prelude to what used to be election day seems to be so much more complicated and so many more moving parts. So I'll defer to Mr. McInerney's line of questioning, but something I'd be kind of curious to hear as well. So, Mr. McInerney, why don't you take over?
Thank you. Chris, on the table of organization, on the payroll, for the second payroll, I had full-time positions at 20, which would mean you have a vacancy in your office, or no? I have 20 full-time positions and 2 part-times.
Yeah, so for 22, so that's why.
Right.
Yeah, so we're at full capacity. We had a retirement late last year that we filled.
When did you fill that? Was it just recently, or?
Yeah, it was in October.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's
last
still
year.
Last year, yeah.
Last year.
All right. So you're saying there are no vacancies at this point?
No.
And all 21 positions are filled?
Yes.
Okay. So there really is no difference, there's, other than the 3% increase? I'm assuming that's basically contractual?
That's right.
And as far as the other expenses go, you haven't asked for any increase there at all? You're still at 159,000, roughly there. As far as the revenues go, it was up over what was anticipated, and you're assuming that you would collect roughly the same in 2026?
That's correct.
So there really is very little, if any, difference between your budget in the previous year and your budget this year. Obviously, other expenses are the same, and the only thing you're doing with salaries and wages is asking for what is mandated by the collective bargaining agreements or any other increases.
That's correct.
So given that, that's there's nothing more to really, get into. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
McInerney.
I will ask one other question. Your trust fund, where is that now? What does that stand at?
Yes, so that's an important point. We just bought a identification card mobile unit, and we've been working with Bloomfield Health Department through President Carlos Palmares and Mayor Ginny Mundell with Health Department getting people who are displaced in the municipality and getting them ID, getting them situated, and we're going to look to go town by town with this mobile unit so that we're able to bring that to other municipalities. So that's a very important point. So we're at now about 85,000.
How much?
So that was
the
20,000.
vehicle?
So we were at 105,000. That mobile unit was 20,000. We're at 85,000 with our dedicated.
Okay. And what else are you able to use that for? That supplements your other
Upgrades of office, anything that's scanners or anything that's going
Any
to.
temporary help?
We don't do that. So we don't pay for help out of our dedicated.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions to Mr. Dicker? Seeing none? We're just so happy you're here, Chris, and you're doing a great job. I think we're good. The reference you made to that mobile portable scanner, ID thing has been fantastic and beautiful, so thank you for that.
Thank you. And as you said, Mr. President, through you, I was just thinking about how involved elections are now, with how early they start and how late they go. We remember it used to be where absentee ballots were mailed out about 2 weeks before the election. Everyone knew the results on election night. Now ballots are mailed out 45 days before the election, and it's about 14 days after the election where the cure deadline comes. So it's a pretty long stretch of work for members, men and women of the Essex County Clerk's Office, and all three election offices. I mean, yeoman's work, incredible.
Now, there was a recent change with the postmarking with the U.S. postal system. Has that had what kind of an impact has that had?
Very important point that now, before when you brought your mail to the post office, it would get postmarked immediately. Now it waits to go to a processing facility before it gets postmarked, and that could be up to 3 days or more. So it's going to affect ballots, and we'll find out how many ballots it's affected in this election in the coming weeks. And then also it affects bills, right? Taxes. It's going to really affect everyone. Also, we're going to meet our revenue projection, but the federal government has stopped us, not just us, but every county clerk's office from doing remote passport services. So they no longer allow us to go as we were going town by town.
Right.
So now what we've done is we've made the park and ride kind of a satellite office to try and get in there once a week, but they won't allow us to go to any town halls. And we think, they won't say what it is, we think it's that they want to generate more revenue through the U.S. Postal Service through their agency, their facilities, where, and this is, like I said, every county in New Jersey is now prohibited from going out to towns and providing services like
No good deed goes unpunished,
that.
sir.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right.
But we'll make the revenue.
Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you. Chris, I want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say that if the 17-year-olds, if their birthday was November 3rd or 5th, they could vote in the upcoming primary in June?
Yes. Yes, because they'll be 18 by next November 3rd. Every one of them. If you're turned 17 November 3rd of 2025 or after, you're going to be 18 by this next general, so you're qualified for this June 2nd primary to vote.
June 2nd and then.
But you have to
okay.
register to vote. That's the thing about it, right?
Wow. Next question. Whenever you have an election, do you always have the 6 days of early voting?
Yes, for a regular primary, it's 6 days of early voting for a primary, 9 days for a general. Presidential, it's 10.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to vote.
Thank you.
And that's happened over the last 8 years with the governor and legislature, really made it easier to vote. And we saw it, right? We saw it in this general election after the 8 years, an incredible turnout, and we just saw it just now. So it's working.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, seeing none, Mr. Durkin, thank you very much for an excellent presentation, as always.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next year.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I think we're going to see you a lot more, actually. Mr. Jackson,
Yes.
what do we have next, sir?
Next is our surrogate. That's same tab, page 58.
Surrogate here? We're a little early.
Oh, I'm sorry, surrogate's not here yet. Ms. Amos is here from the Board of Elections, which would be tab 5, page 41.
Okay, 41. Let's do that, because I know we're running a little early, and if it's the same as here, let's go ahead and move it along. I think the same thing happened to the surrogate last year. We got a little early. Good evening, good to see you both. Please just for the record state your name and affiliation and introduce who is with you.
Good evening.
Good
Can
evening.
you all hear me?
Yes, and put the microphone just a little closer if you don't mind.
How's that? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Nicole Amos here, Director with the Board of Elections, and with me, Mr. Peter Franzi, my Deputy Clerk with the Board of Elections.
Thank you. Why don't you just tell us, give us an overview, and then we'll ask questions.
Sure. We'd like to just present to you our 2026 budget for the Board of Elections. The 2026 election calls for a special congressional election in February, as you all know, and in April with a special school board election in Montclair. We also have our 2 annual elections in April for Newark and Irvington. We have 4 municipal elections. We have the June primary and, of course, the November general election. We have a total of 11 elections this year. This is supposed to be one of the busiest election years in the history of our county. Our election season will run from January through June of 2026, and again September through December of 2026. And while it sounds like we have the summer off, I promise you we do not, because we are always preparing for another election.
We believe you.
Presently, with regards to staffing, all 13 of our positions are filled. And when we go through the budget, you'll see that our 2026 salary keeps our current staff as is, and also includes the 3% for any 2026 contractual increases that, of course, the staff is entitled to. I'm going to jump into the budget, if I may.
Please.
Okay. So you'll recognize that some of our expenses cannot be negotiated, as they are, some of the services are required to administer elections here in our county. But you'll also notice that from 2025 to 2026, there is a jump in the expenses in the amount of $490,000. $293. And I'd like to break that out for you if I may. The board workers, that's the largest increase. You'll see that the increase there is $302,993.
Okay.
And the reason that you see the increase there is because, of course, with 11 elections that we're holding this year, we'll have more board workers. But I would also like to lead with letting you know that while there's an increase of $302,000, that money is reimbursed to us by the state. So that money is coming back to us, and we do submit our expenses timely or any grant funding. The next increase, and they're small, but I just like to run through them so you understand how we get to the 490. There's an increase in equipment and maintenance repair of $3,500, and that's just for the maintenance of our election equipment. Under non-professional services, you'll see $56,000. That's for the sheriff coverage. Now, a lot of the sheriff coverage, it's quite high, but again, that's money that's reimbursed through grant funding, but some of those expenses we cannot get funded through the grant. So that's the $56,000 that the county will have to absorb. Under professional services, $100,000 for the services of Dominion and Knowing. That's the actual election poll pad and the election voting machine for scanning. Travel, we do plan on going to more seminars on behalf of the county, representing the county. Our telecommunications increase there of 1.8. That's really for updating our social media presence and also for county cell and internet. Rental of equipment, you'll see there's an increase of $8,000. We do rent a truck, and that's really for ballot retrieval from drop boxes. And there's an increase of $22,000, you'll see, under rent and taxes, many of our polling locations, and we have 275 of them across Essex County, but many of them have increased their rent, and so that's coming in at a total of $22,000. I can also report out of the money that the $433,993, I can tell you, I'm sorry, of the $490,293 that we are over, $432,993 of those dollars will be grant funded and returned to the county. So what we're really looking at year over year is an increase of $57,300. I'd like to close out by just saying to all of you that the BOE will continue to stay within our approved and planned budget. We are continuing to work with our finance team and, of course, our county commissioners. We will continue to apply and search for grants, and, of course, we are maintaining our outreach partnerships and a way to engage with all of our voters. And that will conclude my presentation for this evening.
Thank you, appreciate it. Mr. McInerney, questions?
Yes, thank you very much for that outline of expenses. That was obviously going to be the most that we were going to deal with, so I appreciate the fact that you were able to get that right off the bat. Can you tell me, when you said we're going to get reimbursed on the board workers, what portion of that will we get reimbursed? You're talking about the increase, you're talking about all of it, you're talking about a portion of it?
So with our poll workers, we are allowed to get fully refunded from the state. Last year for our primary election, we received back $607,000. That covered all of our poll workers. And again, with our general election, we were reimbursed another $660,000. Again, that covers the poll workers.
So do you have any estimate of what you'll get reimbursed this year out of this line item for board workers?
For the $302,993, I'm expecting that we will be fully reimbursed.
Okay, very good, thanks. As far as your other, as far as salaries and wages, I know you have an increase here, which looks basically a contractual increase in salaries, but there's no increase in the number of positions. So at least, hold on one second.
That would be accurate?
Yeah, and it's 12, and, I'm sorry, 13.
13.
I did look at the payroll. I did not see 13 employees hired as of now. Are they fully hired? Are you have a full complement of 13?
We are, yes,
Okay, is that from the beginning of the year you had them
yes.
employed? Okay, I'm looking at the wrong page. then. What about part-time employees? Are
We
you-
do have one part-time employee.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say a name, so I won't.
Where would they be located on the position and salary allocation?
It should be,
Just temporary help, under temporary help?
they are not temporary help is seasonal help,
Okay,
but the part-time person would be under staff.
okay.
And I apologize for not having that exact
No, that's okay.
document in front of me.
Let me just see if I might have it here. Okay, no, I don't. All right, so just to recap, there's a 4% increase, which I'm assuming is contractual. No increase in the staffing, and you've done an excellent job at explaining why the expenses are up to the degree that they are in 2026. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Commissioners, any questions? Ms. Samuels and the team? Commissioner Gill?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, for the job that you continue to do. I just, again, no issues with the budget, looks very sound. Policy-related question, did you update for the public the latest, where we are in the process of potentially being able to move, specifically in Montclair, our polling locations out of our local school, or where we are in that process, if there's a, because it continues to be a question that I continue to get locally. Thank you, Mr. President.
Of course.
Absolutely. I would say about a week and a half ago, I did have a very productive meeting with, I believe it's the deputy mayor, along with 2 representatives from the Board of Education, and we were able to identify 6 potential locations that we will be going to review. We'll be doing site assessments. We were able to also share with them how sites are selected. We also discussed why those locations are and where they are. There was just a lot of information that they were not aware of. I think they thought we had the luxury of just moving polling locations to wherever, and that was not the case. And I'll just go back a year, if I will, Commissioner. I did get a request to review this, and we did. We made it a summer project. We looked at a lot of locations within Montclair, and while we thought we found viable locations, a lot of those locations were not interested in serving as polling locations. And so that was the other stumbling block. While we were able to locate a space or a location that checked all of the state boxes and county boxes, those owners, if you will, just were not interested in serving as a polling location. So we're kind of right back where we started, but we do have some new locations that we will be reviewing, and we're working just, hand in hand and alongside the Board of Education in Montclair.
Through you, Mr. President, just a follow-up question. For clarification, when individual sites are used, are those sites compensated?
Yes, which is reflected in my budget
And that's in the
increase.
budget, right?
Yes.
And who negotiates those contracts and rate, and how are those rates set?
It's quite interesting that the rates are, some don't charge at all, others charge $100 a day. State says that we can be reimbursed up to $100 a day, and most of the sites that we work with will work within that budget. There are some sites that, I hate to say this, it's sort of like an arm wrestle that we're not winning because they can dictate their costs, and we have to pay it because we need that location.
Through you, Mr. President, so that's, but there's only a set rate on the state reimbursement? Meaning
Yes.
anything else is directly coming from the county?
Yes.
Through you, Mr. President, so those locations, this issue, I know is also, as Commissioner Primaris knows and others on the board, rises from the fact that we are struggling with the amount of days actually that our local schools are closed. And in a year like this year where we had additional four actually additional election days. Those are 4 days of local school closures. This is something that all the municipalities actually, quite frankly, are dealing with, that deal with, excuse me, that deal with this issue. Is the, so the final question through you, Mr. President, would the discussions now that are being had, that are the evaluations that are being made, is this now a focus on the 26 fall? So this would not affect June of 25, excuse me, or this June of 26. Oh, hello, we're in 26. June of 26.
So there are some timelines that we do have to follow.
Yeah.
And so municipalities are asked to send to the Board of Elections any locations that they need to change. They have until April 1st to do so. Then we will then present to our commissioners of the Board of Elections any changes.
Okay.
Of course, we produce all of the paperwork to support those changes in polling locations. At the end of the day, it really is up to our board to determine whether or not we're going to make that change.
Okay.
And so there are a few things that they factor in. If it's a convenience for the voter, it has to be beneficial to everyone in the community and not just one particular segment. So there's a lot of conversation around it before a decision can be made. But to answer your question,
Yeah.
we are looking to see if we can make any changes for 2026.
Okay. So
We're pushing for that,
so
but we
June
can't
is a
promise that.
possibility. Even this June would be a possibility.
It's a possibility, but
Right.
it's not a promise.
Understood. Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
I think just a general follow-up to that, thank you, Commissioner, for bringing up those very important points. What's the general lead time for, this may be difficult, but what's the minimum amount of time that you need to make that change? Because you know, printing of ballots, and so with the nuts and bolts of just getting the functionality of the election going, what's that minimum lead time? Or
So if we're talking about what are the polling locations for 2026?
to change one, yeah, so for a request for changing, I mean, I realistically, June is probably a challenge. I mean,
Right.
Is November more?
November would probably be more realistic.
I see, okay.
So it does require some time, and I would say to do it safely and properly, I would say anywhere between 2 to 3 months. And that's really going through all of the meetings and the people that we have to communicate with and the folks that we have to work with. Again, it's not a decision that's made in the boardroom with just our commissioners. We talk to everyone in the community before we make a polling location change.
Right, and that vetting process takes some time. And
It
that's why I
certainly
was really
does.
just trying to get a sense of how long that takes, because it's not just a simple decision that's made in an office. And certainly we want to give the benefit of the public sufficient notice
Correct.
of the change of a polling location, because they become habit, and people, it may be difficult, I would imagine,
You're
to
absolutely
get that
right, sir.
word out, to change. You know, we're creatures of habit, right? And so you
Yes.
just go to the same place all the time. You go and it's not there. And
You're
so-
absolutely right, sir. That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Great, thank you. Commissioner, thank you for the line of question. It's very important, certainly. And this is a busy year for. no
It's
doubt.
extremely busy.
That's an understatement of the night, so. Commissioners, any other questions? See none. Thank you, Ms. Amos. Thank you, sir, for coming. And I appreciate you being here today and for your thorough report.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, next is a surrogate. That's also tab 5, page 58.
Thank you. Tab 558. Good evening, Mr. Surrogate. When you have a moment to settle in, please just state your name and affiliation and introduce anyone who may be with you.
Good evening. My name is Kenny, surrogate for the County of Essex. With me is our deputy surrogate, Mr. DeVero McDougall.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Do you mind if I?
Please just go right into your introduction and tell us about your budget, and we'll ask specific questions.
Sure.
Do you have handouts?
I do. Do I give
Okay,
this to the?
we can do this. Hold on one second. Do we have, Adam may have just stepped out of the room there. Commissioner?
He's in the back.
Adam, can you, oh, never mind, we'll see to be passing this around.
Again, good evening, everyone. Just wanted to share a few things that we've done with our court. I just wanted to show you some of our activities. With our court, we decided to do, again, more of trying to engage the public about what we do, who we are, and to ensure they have a complete picture of the type of work that we do. In 2025, to give you information about our impact numbers, our budget was $700,000. We've seen about 10,084 cases, and we generated $796,303.38. It's a little more than we generated in 2024. Our engagement highlights, you can see it. We were able to partner with Columbia Bank to donate money to CASA for Adoption Day. We had a Goodwill initiative we did with other courts and offices throughout the city, without the county, just to simply to bring goodwill to our employees as well as health as well. We also did an outreach initiative with East Orange Municipal Council, Mayor's Talk, the Honorable Mayor Ted Green. We did a Living Legacy with Jamila Beasley. We also participated in a number of festivals at Branch Oak Park, as well as a home buy initiative with the Essex Community Land Trust. We would love to do more in terms of getting out in the public and share what we do. We've done a number of community outreach as well, from Adoption Day, and also participated in initiatives with City of Orange, as well as we decided to adopt the Thurgood Marshall Academy program, which is a law program at University High School. We did have some staffing changes in our court. In 2025, we lost a staff attorney who was hired as the chief prosecutor with the City of Newark, and the senior probate clerk was now a paralegal with a law firm that specialized in will, trust, and estates. We were able to hire 2 recent Rutgers law students, law school graduates, Jaleesa is a recent graduate and a member of the bar, as well as Nico, who's currently studying for the bar. We continue to bring talent through partnerships and relationships to temporarily address staffing issues to fill vacancies, train our staff to promote internally, and protect ourselves from staff loss. We also try to create pipelines with established institutions to promote our services. Regarding, just to give you a window of we were able to bring in, last year in 2025, we were able to work with Rutgers University, and we were able to have 2 students from China who worked on the visas to participate in our court. We were able to hire 2 University High School students through our Thurgood Marshall pre-law program. We were gifted a Board of Commissioner referral, as well as we have 3 students that came by Newark Youth Career Pathways. We were able to bring in a retiree from Essex who used to work in our court with over 40 years of experience. We've done these sort of things to make sure that we didn't have a disruption of services, something that we experienced in 2024 when we were unfortunately, we lost 2 employees, and we were able to fill those employees, and we wanted to make sure that we created partnerships with Rutgers University, where we can find people who gave us talent at no cost to our taxpayers. And that's the best part about it, being able to find staff who are able to provide those sort of services. And so if we can't hire them, we're able to try to figure out how can we create those partnerships to fill those gaps. And we want to continue creating those sort of partnerships. One, we can share with the public what the court does. The second, also create long-term partnerships so we can protect any disruption of services as well. Our 2026 budget, our base salaries is $1,032,720. Our temporary help is $5,700, which is a total of $1,038,420. As you can see, our adopted budget with our non-professional services, stationary services, and travel-related expenses, which is total of $17,000. The grand total is $1,000,000. I would like to say 500,000, but $1,055,420 is our total budget as well. And behind it, you also see our salary allocation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. McInerney, questions?
Yeah, I do. I just want to reconcile the difference between what the budget indicates in the anticipated local revenue. It indicates that your collections were $632,887, and your handout here says that they were $796,000. Do you know why there would be a difference in those two numbers?
Sure.
So the
Please
difference.
just state your name and affiliation for the record, sir.
So I'm the Deputy Surrogate, Devero McDougal.
Thank you.
So the difference, in all likelihood, is just a timing issue in terms of when we get our funds upstairs to Hassan and Annette. It's just a timing that we didn't get the reports in on time. Unfortunately, it's just, we just don't have the manpower to stay on top as quickly as one. So you probably see that's like about maybe 3 or 4 months we were kind of behind, I believe we were. So that's why what they would have had at the time they probably put together, they didn't have it all. So we actually been working on catching up. So that 700,000 number that he gave you is from our system that we generate from the proprietary system that we have. And so that's why you see the difference. So it's probably updated soon if my young lady that does the work has gotten reports in. So we try to do our best to stay timely, but we just get busy, especially this starting back in like, I'm gonna say August. We just been trying to catch up, and so sometimes we get behind, and those are one of the things that get behind.
Okay, that's 160,000. So what you're saying is that, is it that there's an issue about processing it, or there's an issue about collecting it once it's processed?
So we've collected, it's just a matter of timing of her getting the proper reports upstairs, so it can be an agreement.
So are all those reports to get the hundreds, have they been filed?
I believe we're in February, so January, so I think we're caught up now. I have to double check it, get back to you, but.
If you could, I'd appreciate it,
But
yeah.
I know that back in November, we had to catch up, and I had to take her off of other things we were doing to catch up. So I knew we were behind on like back in November, so we should caught up, but I'll confirm that, and Surrogate would reach out and let you know.
Okay, but the 632 is a correct number for that period of time that actually was collected?
Yes.
For that period of time that they had.
Okay, all right, thank you. What grants are you getting, if any, at this point in time? Do you get
No
any
grants.
None, okay. What about your trust account? What is in there now, and you could explain what you're able to use that for?
So I don't know the exact number that's in the trust account right now. That money is what allow us to do things to improve the court, so to buy technology or actually we don't really utilize it to train people, but it can be anything to upkeep, improve the surrogates court. We can get that. I believe the statute says, not I believe, I know it says that we get $2 per transaction.
Right.
And so prior to us moving over to the new building, it was larger, but we had to upgrade the computers, and so that took a large part of what we had. And so every year we have what we call Bluestone, is a proprietary system.
Right.
So we have to, I believe that costs us $50,000 for maintenance, and then you do that each year. So because that we no longer have the funds we used to have, pretty much from one year to next, we collected just enough to pay for the proprietary system.
Okay.
And so that doesn't allow us to do anything else but to ensure that we have the system we need to ensure the constituents have their wills probated, administration, and documents.
Okay, so just, if you could, get me the number that's in the trust account, and then if you could follow up again about the revenues.
Sure.
Really, with regard to your other expenses, I don't think there's much to talk about there at $17,000. Do you have a vacancy? Because I had one less position in payroll number 2.
No, we filled the vacancy.
You have how many vacancies?
No, we filled all vacancies.
Everything's filled at this point in time?
Yes.
Okay, so the only you have, in salaries and wages, you have a 5% increase, which is basically contractual. It's the same number of employees as last year. Your other expenses are the same. So the only issue that I have, if you could follow up, would be on reconciling those amount of revenues. Okay?
And so there's one last issue. I know last year we talked about a website development and outreach initiatives regarding the firm that we worked with before, on which we saw one of the things, increased revenue as well as increased activities. We want to revisit that conversation again with the administration. And we just don't have the money as of this moment, from our budget line, and we want to make sure that we put an RFP out. We want to make sure that RFP is honored, but we would like to have a conversation again with the administration about the website consultant and services that we put out, and we'd like to have that implemented again to make sure that we are engaged locally what we're doing, as well as increase the activity of our court to make sure people know exactly what we do, from the standpoint of estate planning, guardianship, and those matters as well. And it was very helpful, in 2023 and 2022, and we want to continue that service as well.
Are you asking for an increase in other expenses? Is that what you're saying, or?
I would like the increase in expenses, yes.
All right. Have you had that conversation with the administration at this point, or?
Not this year, no.
Okay, well, you can have it with us then. That's what this is about, okay? Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Richardson.
So what's that amount? What's that number that you seek, that you need, that would increase participation and outreach and those types of things?
It would be 70,000.
70,000?
Yes.
Okay. Let the record reflect.
Commissioners, Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you, Mr. President. So this 70,000, this was the website and the outreach, community outreach stuff that you had done when you were going to different towns, talking about wills and things?
Absolutely. It was everything. It included outreach initiatives, formulating our website to make sure it's less legal and more informed to just laymen individuals. Also to make sure that we were in newspapers, we were in journal articles and magazines where the public reads and knows exactly what we do. We wanted to make sure we touch as many people as possible. And based on our numbers, in the past, we kind of led this space amongst all surrogates court throughout the state of New Jersey. We want to continue to lead in that space as well. So we would like to ensure that we have that space funded so we can do the sort of things that we do.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Commissioner Mercado?
Yes, Surrogate, thank you for your service and for your leadership in that office since you've come on board. The services that your office provides is a service not everybody is aware of. And I think, to your credit, wanting to do more outreach and really educate the public about the services that you provide and the benefits of knowing the services that you provide. So I just wanted to say thank you and your staff. I just happen to be a benefactor of your services from the surrogate's office through my family. And usually folks that come to your office are still dealing with loss and dealing with others. So I just want to commend your staff for the way they for their customer service, for the way they treat the folks that come to your office. I witnessed it hands-on. No one knew I was a commissioner. I was there with my family, I had to handle some surrogate business, and they were compassionate, they were empathetic, and I just want to kudos to your staff and to your leadership for the work that you do. Thank you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, Commissioners, any other questions or comments? See, now I had several people who came to me for assistance, looking for a little guidance, and I referred them to your office, all with, of course, very excellent feedback. So thank you, for your good work and for your staff as well, because I know that they were the front lines. And so all the folks that I know had experience at the office had nothing but, very positive comments. So thank you for that. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We'll see you next year here, but we'll see you, I'm sure, along the way.
Appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
thank you, Mr. Sergio.
Be sure you had that conversation with the administration.
Mr. Jackson, I think we could take a break at this moment. Um,
Well, I think we can, my
What do
druthers
you
would
have?
be to keep going. I mean, we're,
I
Mr. Mahan?
I think I need to take a.
Oh, you need to
break.
take a break.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes. Why don't we
Okay.
take that break now from 5:30 to 6? We'll move it up a little early.
So that's the
The
dinner?
dinner break.
Okay.
Let's
so
do that
we'll-
now, we're a little early, and then that'll allow us to get superintendent, schools, or whoever may come just to.
No,
be here.
we could have everybody here by 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's what
well,
I'm saying.
Let's do that. Let's have everyone here by 6 o'clock. Let's take a break now.
Okay, all right.
I need to take a break, yes.
If you need a break,
Can
that's
we
fine.
just
I'm saying
take
we
5
could be
minutes?
done by 6 o'clock, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Commissioner, recognizing Commissioner Mary Thomas. We're going to adjourn, take the dinner break, and then we'll come back at 6.
Okay.
right.
Of course. Oh, so
That's
proud.
okay.
Especially being
Okay.
We're back in session for the budget hearings. I'm going to have the deputy clerk call the roll, please.
Commissioner Cooper? Here. Commissioner Gill?
Here.
Commissioner Luciano?
Here.
Commissioner Mercado?
Here.
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Siebold, absent. Commissioner Sermons? Here. Commissioner Vice President Murray Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner President Palmeris?
Here. Okay, Mr. Jackson, let's move on. Do we have, what's next on the
Commissioner of Registration, which would be page 47, tab 5.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Please just state your name and affiliation and who's with you, and then you can get started right into your presentation.
Good evening, Commissioner President Carlos Palmeris, Commissioner Vice President A. Dorian Murray Thomas, and Commissioners. My name is Patricia Spang. I am the Superintendent of Elections, Commissioner of Registration for Essex County. The 2026 budget request for the Superintendent's Office is $3,345,315. My office will work closely with the Office of Management and Budget to stay on track. This year, we have an increase in elections with a special primary, a special general, and a special school board election in Montclair. Each election increases our costs with overtime, manpower, programming costs, and other election materials. Although we attempt to maintain a flat budget, each election brings in its own increased costs. We do submit reimbursements for early voting, elections to the State Division of Election, and we also bill each town for school board elections and municipal elections so that the county can recoup some monies. Despite the difficulty in predicting election trends, we will, however, make every effort to be prudent with our budget. To date, the following reimbursements to the county have been received, and they are, since 2023, we more than $1.3 million in grant reimbursements, and that is for my department.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
If we can move just to the revenues first. No, let's go to the salaries and wages. So salaries and wages, when I looked at the second payroll, I had on the payroll, when I was able to count, was 21 employees.
Correct.
Do you have a vacancy?
I do not. I just had an employee retire February 1st.
Okay, so that's probably,
That was effective at February 1st.
okay, and is that going to be filled then?
Yeah, absolutely, with all the elections I have, yes.
Okay, so that's 22. So as far as salaries and wages go, you have a 3% increase, which is basically, I'm assuming, contractual increases.
Correct.
In the salaries and potential increments.
Yes.
And contractual as well. And as far as the other expenses go, we're basically looking at the same as what was.
Can you speak into your microphone?
Yeah, he's not picking.
What was appropriated for 2025 is being appropriated for 2026.
Correct.
The expenditures for non-professional services were budgeted at $1,139,000, and $862,000 was expended, and you're requesting $1,017,000. Is there an expectation you're gonna need $1,017,000 when it wasn't expended in 2025?
Yes, because of all the special elections I have.
Okay, so those special elections are what's going to make the difference between 25 and 26.
I'm sorry?
Those special elections are what's going to make the difference in that expenditure, or that
Yes.
appropriation, from
Yes.
1925
Because,
to
I mean,
1926.
like what we have in front of us,
2026.
like this special early The special general that's coming up, the special primary, there's 9 days of early voting. That's 9 days of overtime for vendors to be on site. You know, it's a lot of money.
Right. And so as far as your temporary help budget goes, that's adequate at 100,000?
I'm pretty good with my temporary budget.
Right.
And I try to keep that further, like I try not to abuse it in the beginning of the year.
Right.
In anticipation if I need it towards the end. But we did kind of hold our own in 2025.
Right.
So I plan on doing that same thing if I can. That's why I want to fill this one vacancy.
Okay. So your overall budget, because there's no increases in other expenses, is up 2% or $53,000 roughly
Correct.
from what it was in 2025. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Mango? I know we talked quite a bit about elections earlier with the previous presentation, so I know we pretty much vetted it. So we don't envy you. We know it's a lot of work coming this way. Commissioner Mercado.
Hello there.
Hi.
Thank you again. Your office is extremely busy, extremely important, especially at this time. I have more of a process question than a budget question. When the paper ballots are submitted and they're collected in the districts, who sees those? How does that work?
You talking about the paper ballot that goes on election day?
Yes, as well as the mail-in ballot.
Well, the mail-in ballots get received by the Board of Elections. They get scanned by the Board of Elections. I have nothing to do with the mail-in ballot. If you vote on machine, either one, early voting or general election day, the ballot goes into a red ballot drop box into the machine, and then those red bags are returned on election night to the Board of Elections. They have custody of the ballots.
And then what happens to them?
They go through, I mean, I don't run that department, so I'm not 100% sure, but I do know they have to go through an audit. By statute, they have to have an audit. And if there is an election where there could possibly be a recount, then the paper ballots would come into play. And that's why it has been said that when you have a paper ballot set up, it is the safest and most secure because there's a paper trail. So that's when the paper ballot, because right now, at the end of election night, the machines there's 2 cards in the machine. One stays, the other card is taken out, which is the tally of the day. That card goes to Chris Durkin, so he can do his unofficial results. But there's a backup in the machine. But if there is ever a question or a recount, they revert to the paper ballots.
Thank you very much.
I hope I answered your question.
No, you did. Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Mango, for joining us again for our annual party here at the hearings.
Our annual party. Thank you. My pleasure.
We'll see you along the trail, I'm sure. Thank you.
I'm sure.
Let's see, next will be Superintendent of Schools, which is tab 11, page 164.
Yes.
He won't admit it. He always says
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mrs. Howard. Just when you settle in, please just state your name and affiliation, and then you may begin at your convenience.
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Zara. I serve as the Interim Executive County Superintendent for Essex for the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, sir. Why don't you just tell us, give us an overall narrative on your budget.
Budget, I believe, is similar to what it is year after year particularly in the expense area. Salaries are, the increases in salary are contractual, and it seems to me that the numbers are very reasonable. And in some categories, if you look at the adopted budget for '25, the modified budget and what was charged, we actually went down in some areas. And again, we have 5 county employees in our office. One just began unpaid family leave. She has a serious medical situation, and the others certainly are picking up the slack. So again, we have 5 county employees. One is on extended unpaid medical leave, and we have 5 State Department of Education employees. And that's by statute. Every county office has to be provided by the counties to the Department of Education for their use. Just briefly, I know it's been a long day for you. We have 23 school districts in Essex County, 18 charter schools, and 17 approved private schools for students with disabilities. Approximately 117,000 students in Essex County. And our responsibilities are broad. The most important, I think, is New Jersey QSAC, the Quality Single Accountability Continuum, where we go into a school district every 3 years and we do a deep dive on governance, finance, facilities, operations, instruction, and program. We will be in Newark tomorrow doing that. I also review contracts for superintendents, assistant superintendents, and business administrators to make sure they comply with code and statute, and that there's nothing in those contracts that's not allowable. A superintendent's contract can be anywhere from 3, 4 to 5 years. Assistant superintendents and business administrators can only have a 1-year contract at any time. We are in the middle of mid-year budget reviews, looking at the budgets of school districts to make sure that they project to be solvent by the end of the school year. We deal with certification, substitute teacher certification, transportation contracts for all the bus companies with the school districts. They're reviewed by our office, special education placements out of districts, and then, of course, we deal with complaints, disputes, and residency issues. One of the bigger growing concerns are residency issues. With the uncertainty in our world and in our society, many people have moved out of the school district, and the school district wants them to leave and be a member of the new school district, and there are some extenuating circumstances that will allow them to stay in their original district. We meet with the Department of Education twice a month virtually. We meet with every Essex County superintendent once a month. It's usually the last Friday of every month. And one of the very nice things we do is we have an academics award dinner in May where we honor the top 2 scholars in every senior class in Essex County.
Great. Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
Yeah, again, as every year, there's very little to talk about here in terms of the finances. There's a 6% increase in salaries and wages, and the other expenses are the same. The budget is $413,000 for the year. I have a technical question, if you don't mind. Do you review, when you brought up the business administrators, do you review their contracts? Do you review superintendent of schools contracts?
Yes.
All of those. Do you do that at the vocational level as well? Or
Any superintendent in New Jersey's contract has to be reviewed, except vocational schools are not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was important. Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, it's pretty straightforward. All right. Mr. Zara, as always, a pleasure to see you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Be sure not to talk so much next time.
Next, we'll do page 55, which is also in tab 5, which will be the Register of Deeds and Mortgages, and Mr. Muhammad's going to handle that. Mr. Rivera was scheduled to come to the first meeting, and he has a vacation, so he's not.
Understood. Good evening, Mr. Muhammad. Just state your name and affiliation for the record.
Good evening, Hussam Muhammad, Director of Finance. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Rivera. So the budget for the county register of deed and mortgages, we have salaries and wages. 2015 was $2,015,224, and requested and executive recommended for 2026 is $2,077,621, and the increase represents the contractual increases, the 3%. Other expenses, $158,983, and for 2026 is the same. It was flat. There was no increases.
Mr. Jackson, what was that page again? I'm sorry.
55.
55.
55.
Sorry. It's a beautiful book. I've got 6 paper cuts already. Oh. Trying to be as efficient as possible here without,
Table of contents would be good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mohammed.
So the office generate revenue last year anticipated was the 11,253,200. Amount collected in full year was 13,522,456 and 40 cents. And for 2026, we anticipated the same 11 million, again, to be conservative. We're not sure about the future, if we actually can anticipate more. The office has 2 trust funds, the regular trust fund, and has the balance as of the end of the year of 292,000, and the Code Blue trust fund, and had 100,000 in the end of the year, as of the 12/31/2025. The office currently employs 24 employees with 4 vacant positions.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Becker, any questions?
Yes, just getting back to that revenue items. So it was 13,522, you said?
Yes.
That was collected in, so you're basically playing it safe by not anticipating what you collected in the prior year?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. As far as the salaries and wages, I had,
There were 4 vacancies?
Yeah.
I had 21, I only came up with 21 employees on the payroll. I'm sure that's light because this is 28 that are budgeted. Are there that many, are there any vacancies?
Yes, they have 4 vacancies.
Okay,
yes.
so there is vacancies
Yes.
there. All right. Are those vacancies going to be filled anytime soon, or?
I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Okay. So again, if we look at the increase in salaries and wages is 3%, I'm assuming that's all contractual?
Yes, the
Both-
IBEW is 3% for 2026.
And that includes the increments as well?
Yes, if they eligible to get an increment, yes.
Okay. And then other expenses remain exactly the same as they were in the prior year?
Yes, that's correct.
Getting into the trust accounts, you have $200,000 in the first one you talked about.
Yes, they have, in the end of the year, they had 292,000, and this, the source of that trust fund is $2 per document charged.
Right.
And this to upgrade the office and, pay for any upgrades or any computers or anything like that.
Was there any activity in that trust fund last year, or?
Yes. Yes.
And
they
that
have
was drawn
usually-
down for?
They usually have activities, yes.
Okay. And the Code Blue, recently, but were you able to expend money
Yes.
out of that fund recently?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, this is the $3 charge on some of the documents, and it goes to the Code Blue Trust Fund.
Right.
And the Office of Register of Deeds, you do not have the ability to spend that money, this money spent by citizen services.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
You do not have ability to spend the funds. They only collect the funds, and the funds get paid, dispersed by citizen services, for shelters or anything like that.
Okay, you just collected citizen services.
Yes, they collect it,
expenses.
and they have another department actually spend it.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Mohammed representing the county register? Commissioner Vice President?
Through you, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you for, this information and, of course, stepping in absentia. A process question just on revenue and the kind of standardization, or rather the likelihood of that same amount. So 2 things. 1, how is revenue typically generated through this particular department? And then secondly, the amount of roughly 13 million, is that a standard amount of revenue? Did we see a similar one or level last year, or is that an anomaly?
Yes. Regard the revenues set by the state of New Jersey, it's a standard for all the counties, and basically this is to record any mortgage or deed and refinancing. So you have a lot of fees they do, and they collect money and send it to state of New Jersey. So we collect it on behalf of the state, and we wire it to them every month. And the 13 million, basically, their revenue went up this year. I guess the interest rate went down slightly, and people do refinancing, so they have to record the documents. And, if any sale, also we collect money on sales.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Commissioners, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for filling in. We appreciate your good work. Mr. Jackson, I believe that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right, just for the benefit of the public, let me just run down the schedule for tomorrow, just so we do have members of the public here and the media. Tomorrow, we will resume with part 2 of our budget hearings, beginning at 4 o'clock, scheduled to appear more or less in this order, although subject to change at times. County Council, Department of Parks and Recreation, Public Works, Department of Health and Rehabilitation, Department of Citizen Services, Department of Corrections, the Prosecutor's Office, Administration and Finance, Central Expenses and Insurances, Debt Service, Unclassified Deferred Charges, Revenues, Commissioners and Administration. So thank you very much, everyone, for making this as painless as possible. Do I have a motion to close?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Rick, second by Mikado. All in favor? Aye. Aye. The ayes have it. See you tomorrow.
Guys, we have a birthday.